AM News now. Township business owners in Gauteng will receive a major boost as Economic Development, Environment, Agriculture and Rural Development MEC Lebogang Maile unveils several multi-million rand projects to uplift the township economy. Maile is on a mission to hold up township businesses as part of the Gauteng provincial government's Township Revitalization Strategy, the TER, which seeks to improve the township economy. More than 70 million rand has been set aside in this current financial year to support township businesses with financial and non-financial support, as well as proper trading facilities for sustainability in order for them to graduate into the mainstream economy. While Mrs. Leah Manenzhe, who is the acting CEO of Gauteng Enterprise Propeller, joins us here in studio to shed some more light on this great news. Mrs. Manenzhe, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, and thanks for having me.
Let's talk about this. Who exactly is the department targeting for this project?
This is targeted to all the informal businesses, informal owners, specifically those people that are street vendors, your fruit and veggie sellers, because the idea is how do we bring them into the mainstream economy and put them in facilities that are more decent for them to be able to do the work. So those are the people that we are targeting currently.
But Leah, I mean, one would say that the informal trader sector is a bit complex to monitor. How do you then plan to deliver that monitoring sort of sphere into this informal trade business?
Well, there's two things to informal business. You don't want to do away completely with informal because there's something exciting, and it's the culture of township business that you must still sustain your informal business.
Yes.
However, the area we're looking at specifically is we want to bring in our local farmers into the sphere of business, and we want to be able to make sure that the street vendors now start selling fresher fruit with longer life cycle. If I must just tell you briefly about the Fresh Hub containers themselves, they developed such that there's a cooler system in there, so that the life cycle of the fruits take longer than what currently is happening. So in terms of the program itself, we are training 350 informal businesses. They're getting venture creation training, which is a CETA accredited level 4 for qualification, which they can use even beyond just working with the fruits and veggies.
Is this for all the street vendors in the Johannesburg CBD or in the townships? Who are you targeting specifically?
Gauteng informal business owners. So all the street vendors in Gauteng, we're starting with 350.
Okay.
But the containers are just designated for 50 beneficiaries at this stage. And each container will create 3 additional jobs.
Okay.
So that's already 4 times 50, which it's got exciting economic multipliers.
You know, we've been speaking on this issue. We do understand that most of the beneficiaries are mainly dealing in fruits and vegetables. Why pay specific attention to that?
You know, there's been a lot of commotion going on. Most of them operate in very filthy streets in some instances.
Health issues,
There's health issues related to this, but also the competition has not really worked well for them. So you want to have them get the benefit of bulk buying, because at the stage you find 5 ladies selling cabbages and tomatoes. So for you to attract customers to come to you, but to also now enlarge their scope. Remember, at the stage, they only target people who are walking by. But the idea is how do you make sure that they can start supplying at bigger scale for weddings and your B&Bs, etc. So this is our way of saying, let's enhance this economy of informal business because it does work.
Very interesting. Do tell us more. I know you touched a little bit on the program, but what does one need to have in order to be part of the beneficiaries, starting with the 350 that you mentioned?
These were just identified from the streets, and they had to attend this compulsory training. So as soon as you qualify from the training, then you become an instant beneficiary. So the ideal is, remember, informal businesses, they don't even have registered companies.
Yes.
These are just people on the streets that are just making a living. So all you need to do is to be an entrepreneur, because these streets vendors are also entrepreneurs who goes through training. Once you get accredited, you then qualify for these hubs.
Let's talk about that training. What goes into this training and how long is it?
Well, venture creation is a 6-week course that is offered by Services CETA. What is contained in there specifically talks to how to start your own business, how to network, how to deal with your financial management, business planning, bulk buying and negotiating for better cost. So that is what is contained within that sort of training.
Do they get a certain certificate at the end of this?
Yes.
Oh, they get accredited.
Accredited. It's a level 4 accredited certificate. So this is not just something that we take very lightly, and we do not want to give people these certificates of attendance which you can't use anywhere else after you've received a qualification.
But what does it mean when you're accredited? Can you go to another town and use this accreditation and start trading there? What happens?
Well, accredited means you are now job ready. Remember, what government is trying to do is not only about the training that they get, but some people would fail. Entrepreneurs by nature, first 3 years, if you survive, you are going to make it, because studies always show us that. So the accredited training therefore means even if your business fails, you are able to now go and market yourself and be a job seeker and produce that certificate, because it's a recognized accredited certificate.
Which brings me to my next question, Leah. I mean, how far do you think such projects will go in trying to eradicate youth unemployment, which is currently so high in the country?
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking at all aspects of job creation and opportunities. This is one of such projects. We're running another program in El Dorado Park that is just aimed at youth. It's called Accelerated Youth Employment Program. Coupled to that, we also will be hosting a summit. It's called the Bungles and Blunder Summit, because the idea is, whilst government has invested so much of money to create entrepreneurs and give funding to entrepreneurs, they still don't make it. It's bad planning on their side, or they waste money doing anything else and not reinvesting into their businesses. So there's a lot of such initiatives that government has done. From the TMR budget, the Transformation, Modernization and Reindustrialization budget, we developed over 15 projects which we will be launching, and most of them were geared towards young people who are now able to create jobs. There's one of such exciting, it's called Sula. It's created 1,000 temporary jobs and 76 permanent jobs. So there's a lot of these initiatives that government is doing. However, we also know that we will not be able to do it alone. We would need support from private sector as well, because we can only create a conducive environment, but somebody else needs to help us and meet us halfway.
Speaking of help, where do people go to get more information on this great initiative?
Well, they can go to our website. It's www.gep.co.za, or the Gauteng Department of Economic website as well, which is www.gov.za. And they can go through and look for the Department of Economic Development.
Leah, thank you so much for those good news this morning. That was Miss Leah Manenzhe, who is the acting CEO of Gauteng Enterprise Propeller.